It's been a pretty magical, well, yesterday evening and this morning. I had a couple of young male deer that just kept entering the camp throughout the night, and then they returned this morning to feed. And it's funny, they would come up like 10 feet away from me and just kind of do a little nibbling on trees and bushes and then just sit there and stare. And then took off from camp, and just a few minutes later there's this big open view vista and the mountain behind me that we just came down from. And today I'm only going about 8 miles down into Glasgow, Virginia. I'm gonna try to stay at the Stanimals hostel. I texted those guys a little bit ago to see if they had any space in the hostel today, and hopefully they do. It'd be nice to get a little break after it'll be a total of about 70 something miles since the last stop, and definitely need some grocery resupply. And after the Triple Crown about 100 miles ago, my ankles and feet are still kind of recovering from that section. Even after getting the new shoes, they're feeling better, but I can definitely tell the ankles are still a little bit irritated. So I've got the new ankle braces on, doing some popping a few Advil a couple times a day, and that's helping with some of the inflammation. But I think reducing the mileage a little bit and maybe taking an extra day or two over the course of the next week to just rest and recover will probably help me out the most. That's hard on the ego sometimes, but the goal is not to finish fast, it's to finish. I'm also going to take several days off trail next week, and so I'm trying to figure out where exactly I'm going to get off trail, go home for my daughter's 8th grade graduation, and then I have a follow-up MRI that week as well to check out my brain stem and make sure that everything from the brain hemorrhage from last September is still healing up nicely, and there's no recurrence of the issue that I had before. I feel great. I'm not having any of the imbalance or numbness or vertigo or any of that kind of stuff, but it's always good to get the doctor's final say. I think it'll be funny. I didn't tell them at the time in December when I had my last MRI that I was going to come out and hike the AT, because that was just a very new idea birthing in my crazy mind at the time. But when I go in for this one, I'll have completed somewhere around 850 or close to 900 miles on the trail, and I have no intention of stopping no matter what the results are. So you know, I feel now that we're the judge of our own health. It's good to get doctors to look at scans and take measurements and do an analysis and all that. But I didn't heal in the hospital. I didn't heal from doctors' recommendations. I healed because I took my health into my own hands and came out to the mountains and decided to walk to feel better, to get my mind right, and I feel stronger and healthier and more capable at 50 years old than I ever have in my whole life. Doctors didn't do that, nurses didn't do that. I took that shit into my own hands and made it happen. I'm happy to partner with them, and I'm glad they have the knowledge and capabilities they do, but they don't fix us. We have to decide to get ourselves harmonized and balanced, and we have to do that sometimes in a way that's only right for us. So I guarantee you, if I would have asked any neurosurgeon or doc back in September, October, if it was going to be okay if I went and hiked 2,200 miles after a brain hemorrhage, they would have all said absolutely not. But here I am, doing it, feeling great. I'm gonna complete it. So, you know, whatever. Anyhow. You want to see what 10.5 miles looks like on a mountain ridge. Right there, maybe hard to see, but on the left side of that mountain, that's Apple Orchard Mountain, and there's the satellite dish that I passed yesterday afternoon, and then came across this way, and then up and around and down and camped down there a couple miles back, and then up this trail. So 10.5 miles in about probably 5 or 6 hours of hiking from there to here. What a view here, walking along the James River, the last half mile or so coming into the James River footbridge, which I will cross and then get picked up to go into Glasgow, where I'm gonna stay at the Stanimals hostel tonight. This is really cool, like a little waterfall off of a big rock formation. A couple of waterfalls and a natural spring. Around the edge there, and then they drop off into the bank of the river, kind of a steep side down to the river, so you got to be careful not to fall off the edge of the cliff here in the last half mile. Between the trees, you may not be able to see it on screen, but there's the bridge that I'm aiming for. So it should take me about 10 minutes or so to walk up there. And I'm gonna get in town just a few minutes later. It's not very far away from the parking lot. It's about 11:15 and my pickup is at 12 o'clock, so I might have to wait just a little bit, but it's a beautiful day and I've got snacks and water, and just gonna sit out there and enjoy nature for a little bit and maybe put my feet in the river if I can find a good spot to do that. Almost there.